BookTube, I'm Vanessa, and today I'm here to do my summer wrap-up. So I haven't been doing my monthly wrap-ups this summer because I just didn't have a chance to read that much over the summer. Things were really hectic. I was moving, I had to renovate this whole room. I had a study abroad program, I had a friend's wedding out of state, and I also just got back from Booknet Fest, and I am in the process of trying to start a photography business, so everything is just really, it's a lot. So I didn't get to read that much, but I did read 3 books over the summer, so today I just wanted to share those with you and what I thought about them. The first thing that I read this summer was Saving Mason by Natalie Cuddington, who, if you don't know, is Pickle Hearts Books here on BookTube. She is amazing and I love her channel so much. So when she offered to send me one of her books for review, I was really excited about it. And this book is really interesting because it is set during the zombie apocalypse, but I wouldn't call it a zombie book, if you know what I mean. It's like that setting is the setting, but the story and the plot itself revolves more around the characters, particularly the main character's journey with having to amputate her leg because she was bitten by a zombie on her foot, and then kind of having to learn how to navigate that world without her leg. And the story just really focuses on her more internal struggles during her healing and recovery and like new learning process with all of that. And Natalie, while she was writing this book, actually worked with an amputee to kind of make sure that she was portraying that story accurately and positively, and I really appreciated that. I don't know much about amputations and stuff, but I felt that the story was very good. I felt myself invested in the characters and the story and wanting to see what happened and how the main character would progress. So I definitely thought that this was a really nice story. It does have some romance in it. There's also zombies. Like I said, it's just like a really nice mix of things, and I really enjoyed it. If you're interested in Natalie's book, or if you want to support her as an author, I will leave links down below as to where you can find this book, which I definitely recommend. The next book that I read was Felicity by Mary Oliver, which is a collection of Mary Oliver's poems. I bought this because it was on sale at a bookstore that was going out of business, and I had, when I was a teenager, previously been really into Mary Oliver. I read a lot of her poems when I was on speech and debate team because one of my events was poetry recital, and I did hers quite a lot. And I remember in high school that they made me feel so much. They made me feel so sad but also vibrant at the same time, and they deal with topics that just really hit home to me, like appreciating life while you have it and appreciating the world around you while you're able to be here. And it always just really struck a chord with me, so I was excited to read a poetry collection of hers, but weirdly none of the poems in this book made me feel much of anything. They were all kind of just very short and very simplistic. I would even compare them to like some modern poetry books like The Princess Saves Herself in this one and Milk and Honey, which I wasn't that much of a fan of. I'm not sure if these are just not the same poems that I was into when I was younger, or if maybe I've just grown out of them or something, because I was pretty disappointed. I was so looking forward to like diving back into her poetry, which, like I said, there are poems of hers that I have loved so much. So I don't know, this book I would not really recommend. If you're into modern poetry and like the short, really simple, kind of just to the point, this is a feeling snapshot, here it is, then I would recommend, but otherwise, it was okay. And the last book that I read this summer was I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. I buddy read this book with someone I met here on YouTube, and that was a really good experience. I liked being able to talk with her about stuff as it was happening, and she had already read the book previously, so that was also kind of an interesting thing for the buddy read. But I don't really know how to describe this book. It's very vintagey and whimsical, I guess. It's about a girl, it's kind of like her diary, that she is living with her kind of washed up has-been author of a father, so her family's really poor now because he's not writing anymore, but they live in this like old castle that has like the towers and everything, but now it's in like disrepair, and it's just a very intriguing setting. And the story kind of follows her and her sister as well as their stepmother as they are going through life with, you know, their father the way he is, their money situation the way it is, as well as the 2 girls kind of growing up, becoming women, discovering love, meeting men that they think they might be in love with, and trying to navigate that situation. I think I wasn't so much invested in the plot plot of the story and like what was happening with all of these situations as I was with just the characters themselves. They're very interesting characters, and also just the experience of getting to read and exist for a while in this setting, which is so atmospheric and somewhat magical. It was just a really nice reading experience. And those are all of the books that I read this summer. I know that it's not that many, but I am in the middle of several books. I've kind of been like picking things up and not quite finishing them, but now that my routine is settled in, I should be able to finish some of the books that I'm like partway through. I've been reading The Happy Prince, which is a collection of fairy tales from Oscar Wilde, which are really interesting to read. I'm also still clunking my way through this Paganism book, which is not something that I'm trying to read cover to cover or anything, but you know, when I have time, I'll sit down and read a chapter or two and then think about it and let it sit with me for a while. I am also in the middle of listening to the audiobook of Trevor Noah's Born a Crime, which is so good, and I love Trevor Noah so much. I'm also almost done with Broken Things by Lauren Oliver, which is an ARC that I got at BookNet Fest and read almost the whole thing on the plane ride home because it just sucked me in. It is so good. It is I guess it's kind of like a thriller murder mystery. It's about these two girls and a guy that were all accused of murdering their best friend when they were 13. And the media kind of made it out to be almost like that Slender Man killing thing that went on a few years ago, that, you know, the girls were so obsessed with this story that they were reading and they were writing a fan fiction for it, and they decided to like act out a human sacrifice that was in the story on their best friend. But the thing is that they didn't do it and are trying to figure out on their own who actually killed their best friend and what actually happened. So like I said, so far it is really good, and I cannot wait to finish it and talk about it in next month's wrap up. So that is it for this video. I hope that you guys liked it. If you do, go ahead and give it a little thumbs up. That really helps me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, you can do that too if you want to. I'm trying to upload every Monday and Thursday, and possibly sometimes on Saturdays as well. It's a tentative schedule, but I'm gonna try and be consistent with it now that my routine is settled down and back in place and everything. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these books or if you're wanting to read any of these books. I would love to chat with you about them, and I hope that I get to talk to you soon. Bye!